everybody, a warm welcome to Wisdom from North, the place for accelerated inner growth and empowerment. I'm Jannecke, and if you're new to my channel, it's so lovely to have you here. And I'd like to tell you about an exciting opportunity. If you feel that your days are a bit repetitive, that in many ways you're living the same day again and again, and you sense that there is more to you, your soul is whispering for you to open up to something, but you don't quite know what it is. Well, then I would love for you to join an event that I'm having, the Soul's Calling Online Retreat in February. And it's completely free, and we will have an 8 days journey together where we will explore and dive into our soul's calling. And after this journey, you will feel that you have more clarity on what steps to take to embark on a life filled with mission. And you will also understand a bit what is holding you back. And I will also have some of the teachers that I'm collaborating with that will be part of some of the workshops and be also of guidance on your path. And one of them are Camillo Løken, that's here today. And this is sort of a warm-up to the Soul's Calling event. So I would love for you to join us, and the link is right below and it's completely free, like I said. Over to you, Camillo. A warm welcome to our warm-up video today. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So Camillo, you are a well-known Norwegian speaker within spirituality and consciousness in Norway. And the interesting thing with your story is that you used to be an atheist, and before you became a spiritual teacher, and then you started looking for that bridge between spirituality and science, which you found and which changed your life. And you're also going to have a masterclass on my membership about life mission. So this is something you are also passionate about. So for the sake of this video, this warm-up video, what is your perspective on a life mission or a soul's calling?
Well, I think the soul, first of all, I think we don't have a soul, we are a soul, and we have a physical experience. Many people say that we have a soul like you have a car or you have a body. I don't think so. I do believe that the soul is actually enveloping the body like the yolk in an egg. So the soul is it cannot be constrained inside a body. I think it's much grander than that. So we are a soul, and I do believe the soul is here on this planet to experience feelings. Everything from fear to love. And I think that's why also you cannot experience all those feelings in one lifetime. It's not enough time because there are so many feelings to explore. You can experience bitterness, for instance, or shame or guilt, but within those you have different variations of bitterness, different variations of shame. So there is a huge spectrum of feelings you can explore as a soul. And when it comes to your life mission, I do believe you need to listen to your heart, to intuition, because you come here for a reason. And it could be to experience what we call negative feelings, because you have people in certain parts of the world who are suffering and starving, people who are being abused. But I do believe, even though it might sound horrible, that they too have a mission, because they are showing us the darkness, and it's part of the awakening process. So I do believe we all choose our lives. And most people, I think, are not really listening to their intuition and to their heart, because we are so bound by this external world. And with technology now, with cell phones and internet and online services 24/7, you're so tied up in the external world that your focus is always on the outside, never on the inside. And I know, young kids, they're going to bed with their iPhones or their smartphones and, watching the phones before they sleep. And the first thing they do in the morning is to, check what's going on in the different social media apps. So they're never really focusing inwards. They don't have time to focus inwards because they're captured by all this noise in the outside world. And then it's really difficult to, find your life mission, to find your life's purpose. So you need to turn the focus inward to really start listening to those feelings, listening to your heart. And what do you really want to do with your life? And I think it's all based on passion. When you find what you're passionate about, then you're starting to tuning into your life mission. What is your purpose? Because we have so much to give to this world. And if you just, in the outside world, you're more or less ego-based, you're run by your intellect and your ego, and many people, they want fame and fortune, and that's what's driving their lives. And other people, they have other, focuses. Most people don't focus inward, and that's the key thing. And in my life, I used to work in one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world because I grew up in a family of physicians. I was an atheist, and I was told that life is random. It's just a cosmic coincidence that there is life on this planet. We are lucky. We have the right distance from the sun. We don't freeze and we don't, melt. It's perfect distance from the sun. It's all luck. And we live here maybe 70, 80 years of our lives, and then we die and we're gone forever. That's how I grew up. My father told me all these things. And he said the only way you can get a good life is to work really hard, get good grades in school, and then find yourself a secure job and stay there and work hard and hope that people can see that you're doing great work so you can advance and become even higher, climb higher on the corporate ladder, so to speak. So I did that, and I never, ever paid attention to my heart. I never turned my focus inward. I was always in the external world. And then something happened. I lost two of my colleagues. First, a female colleague, she died of leukemia, and another male colleague, he died in a bizarre accident. And it was just a few months between them. And that changed my life because I went to the funerals and I started reflecting on life itself. Can people just be, gone this quick? And they were in their mid-30s. They were parents, positive, energetic people, and now they're gone. Gone forever. Is that true? Are they gone forever? And I started questioning my beliefs. I started thinking, could there be more? And could there be more to life? Why am I here? What am I doing? Am I following my heart? Am I true to myself? And I realized I was not. I was just going to work to make money and to earn more money, to get bonuses, to get all the perks. And I was really disappointed in a way because I hadn't really listened to myself because I just followed the recipe that was given to me by my parents. And they grew up during the Second World War, so they were always about security. You need to get a secure job, get your secure income, because they had really experienced poverty during the Second World War. So that's where their recipe, they thought, was the only recipe. So I followed that recipe, but then everything changed when I was about 41 years old. And since then, I've been on a spiritual path trying to find answers to the big questions in life. Who are we? Why are we here? Where do we come from? And what happens when you die? And in that process, I realized that the soul really needs to, we really need to listen to our heart, because I do believe the soul is connected to the heart somehow. Yeah. That's how we in a way can listen, because the soul is always trying to reach us, because it's like a car. The body is like the car. You're driving a car, and the one who's driving is the ego. And the soul is in the backseat trying to whisper directions in your ear. But most people don't listen because they don't realize there is someone in the backseat. So the ego is in control. And this is how I see it.
Yeah, and the many things I want to add here. I totally agree with you. And what I've experienced that many teachers that I've interviewed talk about, because I've interviewed around 400 teachers now, thought leaders and transformational teachers, it's the same as you're saying, that something happened in their lives. They met the wall, something tragic happened, perhaps they had anxiety, depression, where they started asking questions. And what I've come to is that, and this is of course my belief and my perspective, but that we don't have to hit the wall before we find ourselves calling and start listening to our hearts. And that's why I'm making this event to also, like you said, to let the distractions from the everyday life, put that aside and focus 1 week on actually the heart and our gifts. Because perhaps many are thinking now, but I don't know what my passion is, follow my heart. How do I know what my passion is? Well, that is what we're going to explore. But if we never take time out of our lives to actually listen, it's hard to listen. Like our phone is always there. Yeah. And in my membership right now, we're working on our dreams. And the first thing we do in the morning is not to look at our cell phone. It is to close our eyes again and start to fish the dream. Because there's so many tools that are available for us. We can find answers in dreams and many other ways, but we need to listen. So this is, my offering, these 8 days journey, so we can actually focus on this. So Camillo, a bit about the working hard thing, that many of us are trained to do this. Like, it's almost like this programming. So can you talk a little bit about that, how you have been working on letting go of the hard work?
Well, I think when you're not following your heart, it's going to be hard work, because it's all about energy, frequency and vibration. Just like Nikola Tesla said many years ago, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, you need to think in terms of energy, frequency and vibrations. So when you set yourself a goal, and if you set yourself your goal from the ego and the intellect, you're using your brain. And you're not involving the feelings. You're using your thoughts, your brain, and not your feelings and your heart. And I know you've been interviewing people at HeartMath Institute. And the HeartMath Institute, they've been researching and looking into the power of the heart and also the connection with the brain. And they have shown that, we both know that the heart and the brain, they produce electrical and magnetic fields. So you have the brain producing electrical fields, and so does the heart. And also the brain produces magnetic fields, and so does the heart. But the heart produces about 60 times stronger fields in electrical fields than the brain, and up to 5,000 stronger magnetic fields than the brain. So when you set your goals from the ego, and you're trying to reach those goals, you're actually sending out energy which is much, much weaker than if you set your goals from passion. And since I do believe the universe is synchronizing everything, which is, well, you can look into the research of Nassim Haramein showing that the universe is a self-consistent system, a self-organizing system. So whatever you're sending out in terms of energy and frequency and vibration will return to you in terms of synchronization. People, events, certain things will just appear in your life. It looks random, but it's actually part of a synchronization process. So whatever you're trying to reach, it depends on how much energy you're putting behind it. So when you come from the ego, from intellect, setting your goals from the external world's demand to you in a way, so like the external world, you need to saying you need to be rich and famous. So okay, I need to be rich and famous because then I get a lot of money, I can do whatever I want, and people will see me, and I will be happy, blah blah blah. But that's not passion. It can be passion, but for most people, it's not really passion. So you're setting your goals based on what people in the external world saying what is good. And then you involve your intellect, your ego, and coming from the brain, so to speak. And that's much, much weaker than if you just connect with your heart, because that's the most powerful tool you got, the heart. And then if you really come from the heart, then it's not hard work. And I think I wrote a book called Why Are Some People Successful and Other People Not? And in that book, I refer to a research that went for 10 years. A person in the States, Richardson John, interviewed, I think it was 500 people, very successful people around the world. And all of them had certain traits in common. And one of the traits were they were all coming from passion. And they didn't go after their goal because other people said so. They wanted to be true to themselves. And yes, they worked a lot. Some people will say they worked hard, but hard work is not hard work when you love the work. 15 minutes of something you don't love is really hard work, but 15 hours of something you love is easy because time flies. So hard work has to do with feelings. Do you love what you're doing or not? And remember, you are changing every minute of your life with what you're doing. And you have a certain amount of minutes on this planet. And the day you die, you cannot undo it. So you're actually exchanging every minute of your life with whatever goal you're trying to reach. So try to set your goals from passion, because then it becomes much easier, because the energy behind that goal is so much more powerful than the energy coming from the ego, the intellect. That's how I see it.
Makes so much sense. And in the Soul's Calling online retreat, I will speak about intentions, because that's a very important, what I call the portal. I actually call all these tools, spiritual tools, a portal. And I just watched a video with Oprah Winfrey actually last night, and she spoke about her 2020 intentions. And that intentions are everything, because intentions to me comes from the feelings. It comes from the soul. Like, what do I want more of in 2020? What is the main word for 2020? And the goal can be more like mind-oriented. And we'll dive into this together on the event. And I also believe, and we'll touch upon this, that we might have some sub-callings as well. That was something that came forward in my last Soul's Calling with one of my teachers called Anja Vinto, who talked about that we also might discover some more callings that are coming. So it's a fascinating, it's a big topic, and there are many perspectives. But I'm so excited to have you along with us, and Katie Bray. She will also be along or coming on one of the workshops, and she's a lifelong clairvoyant and empath. So I think there might be some breakthroughs in this event. So Camillo, is there anything you would like to end this short warm-up video with saying about, you know, following or finding our life mission?
Well, I think what you're actually putting together now is a really great event, because this is what is needed, because there's so much noise in the external world catching our attention. So by offering such a retreat, an online retreat for several days, you can take a break from the external world and start to focus inward. I think it's a great initiative, helping people raise their level of consciousness and realizing that when you come from the heart, things will start to become much easier. I created programs about this, showing that when you follow your heart, you get so much more energy flowing out of yourself into the universe, and things start to happen. It looks like magic, but it's not. So you're actually doing great work with this retreat, and I salute you for that.
Thank you so much for that. I'm very excited. And I hope to see you there. I think it's something about being together. We do not have to walk alone. When we express what's inside, when we have a community, when we feel like we're not the only one struggling with something, then we can have a more rapid inner growth. So I love to see you there. And thank you so much, Camillo. I'll see you soon. Thank you for showing up.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you for watching, and remember to shine the light that you are. Bye-bye.